Yeah.
Then COVID came and then it just shut everything down. So now it was really a real true test now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you've already quit your job, you're already kind of depending on this. So it's like, now what? And Lord is great, you know what I'm saying? God's still good.
Yes,
So
sir.
I was able to actually still pick up stuff. Like I wrote a book. I wrote a children's book, you know what I'm saying? Once
Girl's dad, correct?
correct, yeah, Girl Dad. Once I had my daughter, that inspired me to write that. And then that, did very well. It had hit #1 at one point, and it was just like, oh, okay. Um, and I was always still saying that same mantra, like God's still good, because I was bearing witness, every day. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how these bills were getting paid, but he's working it out. So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, you know what? Around that time, Atlanta was starting to open back up. And so I was like, I'm gonna go down here and see what's going on. And my sister-in-law always hear me say that, God's still good. And then she wound up, making me a sweatshirt that said that, and open up a little online store for me, which I was able to take it over and then truly push it. And then before I know it, I had a clothing line. So it was like, man, you just never know. Like, it was just a message, like, everything you need, I already equipped you with. Just walking. You can't see it that clear right now, but you just gotta trust it. And that was how that continued to unfold. Um, I know we're going to, definitely get into Terrify. So I kind of jumped there for you. I had to give a huge thank you to Lauren Lavera. Like, we trained together, you know what I'm saying, at the Actors Lab in Philly.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
I was already quite familiar with her, you know what I mean? And then one day she just hit me. I had no idea about, Terrify, but she had hit me and told me that, there was like 2 roles available and, maybe I should audition. I'm like, sure, uh, I had no idea about the cult following they had, man. Like I was never like truly even hip to what was going on. So for me, it was just an opportunity to work, and that's what I love to do. So it was like cool. So in the audition, they got back to me. They had, booked me for the role, and when I went in there, I didn't know what I was getting into, man. Yeah, that was a big, difference for me. So I was like, oh, okay. But the people, like the staff, Damien, Philip, Fuzz on the Lens guys, Lauren, of course, everybody was just so fun that it just like, hey, we in this to win this at this point. And I could just see like their vision, like how, like it wasn't really about them. Like it was kind of like really about the fans. Like they really wanted to give the people that was so in tune with this a good show. Like they wanted to like just exceed every level of expectation. And I'm like, oh, that's my vibe. Like I'm always, my goal is always to exceed the expectation. So it was like, all right, well, let's do it. You know what I mean? And when it was time to unfold, I got to meet Dave, and it was just like, okay, we on.
For sure. So I wanted to talk about, your other stuff, but let's go ahead. We can get into Terrified and then we can come back to some of your other stuff that you had going on. So kind of just walk me through, because this was essentially was it your first horror slasher film?
Definitely my first horror slasher film.
First. So how did you like it? So is this something that we can foresee in the future as fans of the franchise? Can we see you in more upcoming horror films, or?
I'm definitely not opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely like so brand new for me and eye-opening too, because it was so much prosthetics. It was so much, fake blood. I mean, like Terrified was so above and beyond for your first one. It's like, whew, you know what I mean? But it definitely set a thought in my mind, like this is pretty fun, because the reception, like what I received from the fans was just so like, oh wow, like they truly were engaged in this film and my performance, and like they would just hit me like, yo, I love what you do. I love your scene. I'm glad you was alive. Like, what I mean? They just wanted, it was dope. So I was like, okay, maybe, you know what I mean? But definitely, Damien and the guys, they got first dibs. Like I gotta rock with them first. You know what I mean? I know it won't be Terrified 3. I don't think my guy made it, but yeah.
But man, that was awesome. And I got to say, of 2022, I feel like you had definitely one of the top 5 best kill scenes that whole year, man. It is like, I think Carrie on Facebook, she runs the Arthur Clown Appreciation Society, actually has your prop head on
Yeah.
display at our house. So how does that feel that some fans out there have your head on display, man?
So it's mind blowing, you know what I mean? Because you don't get that in any other genre. You know what I'm saying? That's like I've had T-shirts that's hard to get. You know what I mean? Just to get a T-shirt, but so you got the actual, you know what I'm saying, prosthetics, the and this and all of that is available. Different fans is getting grabbing different things. You know what I'm saying? How
Mhm.
much they love art. Like, it's just like just to watch it, not even just myself, like not even just my character, but just to watch how loved that project is like it just makes you very grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can say like, so how has the success been? Because like I said, the budget originally was 250,000 for the movie, grossed over. I think now with DVD sales thrown in there, I think it's over 11 million,
Yeah.
and you're a part of that. Like
Right.
you're part of a giant that people originally slept on.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm it's inspiring, you know what I'm saying? Because I haven't taken my jab at, you know, filmmaking or producing yet. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Eventually I do, but seeing what Damien and Phil and the guys were able to do lets me know that this stuff is possible. You know what I'm saying? As long as you have a project that, you know, people want to see or people, you know, at least give a chance, it's like, okay, you know, it could be done. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to think that you need millions of dollars to get
Yeah.
it. I mean, of course that helps, but it's not a necessity. So it was like, all right, cool.
For sure. Now, have fans been like, I know you've been on several other shows and all that good stuff, but have fans been recognizing you go to the grocery store to get some, get dinner one night, like, hey,
Hey,
you're Ricky.
yeah, I ain't get to that point yet. I'm able to still walk in the mall and all of that. I'm good.
Okay.
But they do hit me, you know what I mean? And I'm usually pretty receptive, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like if they message me, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been in a good spirit anyway. So it's like it's easy for me to just, give them a little shout out back, you know what I mean? It doesn't hurt to do that.
For sure. Yeah, you definitely looked out for me when I hit you up, so I do appreciate it. Now, are you going to be doing any conventions or anything? Can we get you at a few horse?
It's funny you asked. I've been getting that a lot, you know what I mean? Like a lot, a lot. And I'm like, at first it was like, again, I didn't really recognize how well loved my character was. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it was like, I don't think so. Like I can't see why they aren't the man. You know what I mean? So, but because I have been getting a lot, I have been contemplating it. So, and I see like the schedule's kind of been put out for this year already. What's
Mhm.
going on? So it's like, I have had like a few agents even jump in my box to like ask if they could represent me in any way for these shows. So I think I start entertaining the idea a little bit more now.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so just to kind of backtrack a little bit, I definitely want to know, so how did I know you had a lead role in False Pretenses. So now, how did that come about? Because I checked out the trailer and all that good stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is something like I definitely want to watch. So can you
Oh
just
yeah,
walk through that process?
yeah, definitely. The director's name is Andrew Fontaine, and I had worked with him previously on a short. It was never released. It was called Queens. That was the first time we had met, and that by itself was already dope. And like the way he casted it, the way it was produced, and even afterwards, how professional it was. Like he was kind of you could tell that he focused on excellence. He wanted things to be like really truly good. And so when he had the idea about the feature for False Pretenses, he hit me, and I wasn't truly sure about the time that it was filming if we could find it to get together, but we were able to. And once we did that, man, it was magic. Like it was well casted. We spent like over a week in the Poconos, like in the cabin and filming that along with other sites in Philadelphia. And the final product, fantastic, man. A true murder mystery. Um, and it's never been seen this way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's truly down to earth. It has some good hints of comedy in there, great actors in there. It's just very well done. In fact, if anybody wants to check it out, its website is falsepretensesthemovie.com. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think right now you can either buy or rent as well. So I saw a little bit of tidbit from behind the scenes on, I believe the premiere was in Atlanta and it was a sold out event, right?
Yeah, we had two. Well, we three. We had the first one in Atlanta, then the second one was in Philadelphia, and then there was another one, Harrisburg.
Nice, man. I mean, that, like I said, you're doing great things. So I want to know about your book, because I am a father. I
Yeah.
have 3 little girls, so I
Great.
want to know like what made you or what inspired you to write a book.
Man, it's not even super deep out because honestly, when I told you I started thinking about what to do about my creative bug when I was still doing accounting.
Mhm.
My first thought was writing. Before acting, I thought writing, but I didn't have anything to write about. I wasn't inspired, you know what I'm saying? So then I thought acting and I pursued that. So once I had my daughter, I'm just sitting reading Dr. Seuss and this and
Yeah.
that. And once I read one, I just like, yo, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I could make rhymes and make it make sense too, and like be a little humoring for my ear. You know what I mean? Will
Mhm.
entertain me. And so I was like, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I took my time, put a nice little thing together, make it have a nice little rhyme pattern, but still make sense. And from a perspective of a newborn, like a new father. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it was just like when I read it, I enjoyed it. So I just put it out for the masses, man. And it was animated. Um, it had slang in there, but it was still like professional. It was just appealed to a nice culture, like you know what I mean. But even if you're not from this culture, you would still appreciate it because there's the feel about it. You know what I mean? Just it's that heartfelt a brand new father would feel. So I was just glad. I was just glad to put it out for people to appreciate.